It was a late Friday night, the kind where the sky hangs heavy with rain and the wind whistles through the trees like it's trying to whisper secrets. My friend Alex had been on the road for hours, returning from a business trip. The highway was empty, except for the sound of his tires on wet asphalt and the occasional splash of a puddle. The headlights cut a path through the darkness, but the surrounding woods seemed alive, shadows twitching with every flash of the wipers. Alex was exhausted, his eyes burning, his mind drifting to thoughts of a warm bed and a cup of coffee. He had been driving for hours, stopping only briefly for gas and a snack, but the monotony of the long, dark road made him feel uneasy, like something was waiting just beyond the edges of his vision. Then, he saw her. A young woman standing on the side of the road, drenched, her thumb out. She looked fragile, her hair plastered to her face, and her clothes clinging from the rain. There was something about her that made Alex hesitate. He normally wouldn't pick up strangers, especially on a lonely, late-night highway. But the look in her eyes, desperate, almost pleading, made his chest tighten. He slowed and pulled over. The rain poured harder, soaking the inside of the car as he opened the door. "Do you need a ride?" he asked, trying to sound calm. She nodded silently and climbed in, the wetness of her clothes dripping onto the seat. The smell of dampness filled the car, a mixture of rain, mud, and something faintly metallic that Alex couldn't place. He tried to make small talk. "Where are you headed?" he asked. She didn't answer. Finally, she handed him a small, folded piece of paper. He unfolded it and saw an address scrawled in neat handwriting. The street name was unfamiliar, but it seemed close by. He started driving, the car's tires hissing over wet pavement. The woman didn't speak, didn't even look at him, her gaze fixed on something beyond the window, lost in thought, or maybe in something he couldn't see. The road narrowed as he went deeper into the countryside. Trees loomed overhead, branches scratching at the car like long, thin fingers. The wind picked up, rattling the car windows, and Alex felt a chill run down his spine. Every mile, the tension grew. Something about the silence in the car felt unnatural, like the air itself was holding its breath. Finally, he reached the driveway of the house listed on the paper. He slowed, preparing to turn, and finally spoke. "Here we are," he said. "This your place?" He turned to glance at the passenger seat. The woman was gone. Gone. Alex's heart stopped. He blinked several times, rubbed his eyes, convinced he was hallucinating. The seat was dry, no trace that she had ever been there. No jacket, no umbrella, nothing. Just empty. He stepped out of the car, rain soaking him immediately, and walked up to the front door, paper still in hand. An elderly woman answered, her face pale, eyes wide. Alex described the woman, everything. The wet hair, the soaked clothes, the silent demeanor. The woman's hands trembled as she whispered, "That's my daughter. She died on that road 10 years ago." Alex couldn't speak. His mind raced. How could this be? She was alive just minutes ago, sitting in his car, yet here the mother was, saying her daughter had died years ago. The woman invited him in briefly, but he felt a wave of unease and stepped back into the rain. Driving away, Alex felt a strange mix of disbelief, fear, and awe. The memory of her silent, pleading eyes stayed with him, etched into his mind. Over the next few weeks, Alex couldn't stop thinking about the encounter. He drove past that stretch of road during the day, looking for any clue, but it appeared normal. People told him about the accident, how a young woman had tried to hitch a ride in a storm and was struck by a car. Her body had been found by the side of the road, wet and alone. Alex tried to rationalize it. Maybe he had seen a hallucination, an exhausted mind playing tricks. Maybe it was a strange coincidence. But the details, her exact clothing, the handwriting on the paper, her soaked hair, he couldn't explain. Months later, he heard stories from locals of other drivers claiming they had picked up the same young woman. She would appear, ask for a ride, give an address, and vanish without a trace. Some said she smiled politely, others said she just stared silently, eyes dark and endless. Alex never drove that road at night again. But even now, on rainy nights in other places, he swears he sees her, just for a fleeting moment in the corner of his eye. And he wonders, is she still waiting for someone to give her a ride home, 10 years after she died? Forever trapped between two worlds, invisible but real?